Hello Biconauts and developers. Welcome to this new video, and in this video we will be discussing how you can debug some of the errors that you usually get while integrating Biconomy into your dApps, and these are some common errors that you usually get and how we can debug this using Tenderly, how we can simulate using userOp object and callData. So yeah, let's get started with this new video. Alright guys, so now you can see we have a normal dApp in which we are connecting via EOA and creating a smart account for ourselves, and in this we have a get count ID and an increment count. Basically it's a normal contract, but there is a little twist in this, so let me show you what the twist is. So in this contract I have written a required statement when we call the increment function, which is the message.value should be greater than equals to 1 ether, and you must send at least 1 ether to increment. Okay, so for the count to work, and this is a required statement, so I have intentionally put this required statement because in the actual function what I'm trying to do is I will be doing an increment by sending the value which is lower than 1 ether, or so as you can see here the value is 0.5, which is of course less than 1 ether, and this test is going to be made on polygon MI, so yeah, you can call it 1 pol. Okay, so yeah, now probably this transaction should fail. So when you it's not about probably, but it will actually fail, because as soon as you send the transaction you might get the transaction hash, but the transaction would be unsuccessful and you will get a success as false. Okay, so that would be the thing. So let's see, do we get the success as false or not? And we are also building the userOp here. As you can see here, we have a userOp which we are going to build, and using that userOp and some fields in that, we'll look how we can debug the error. Okay, so let's go and just do the transaction. So as you can see here, I have an increment count button, so I'll just open the console. Now if you can see, I have a Biconomy smart account object and a smart account address. Now as soon as I increment count, I should probably get a userOp like this, and it will ask me for the signing of the transaction. As soon as I sign in, within seconds you'll see a transaction hash. So this transaction hash is not a validation that the transaction has been successful, but as you can see here, the success has been false here, which means the transaction was not successful. It didn't carry out. So if I click on transaction hash, I will see that the transaction in the Explorer will have a revert which says all the one or more error occurred in the dApp contract. Look, suppose most possibly this happens when you have a revert from your dApp contract, or is there something required statement in your function failing in your dApp contract. So this happens when your dApp contract has a problem in it. So for this we'll have to figure out using Tenderly. So the things that we need here is we'll just go and click to show more and decode the input data. So you can see some of the fields here like init code, callData, call gas limit, and all of the things that usually are there in the userOp. So we will go and open Tenderly in a new tab, because we will be debugging the error using Tenderly. So you have to create a dashboard in Tenderly and go to the dashboard, and as soon as you go to the dashboard you'll see a simulator button at the left hand side of it, and if you click on simulator you'll see a new simulation button, and you'll have to simulate this. So for this error we will start with decoding it with the callData. Okay, so for that you can see that in this Explorer you have callData field, and with this little information we'll try to debug. So for that we will need to paste any address. So it doesn't mean that you have to paste any address, it does mean is you have to paste here the smart contract address, so the smart account that you have. So now you can see ops.sender is the smart account address, so you will just copy it from here like this, and you'll paste it here in the Tenderly, and make sure you don't enter any extra spaces, and this chain is polygon MI, so it will take a little time for it to fetch the details about this address, and since this address is not verified, so it will not show us the functions in it. So we'll be seeing something like enter raw input data in some seconds. So as you can see here, enter raw input data is the field that we require, and in this we will just paste the call data, and we'll copy it like this and paste it here. Cool. Now another thing that you should be keeping in your mind is the from address here should not be a null address, it should be the entry point address, entry point contract address. For while currently making this video, I'll be using entry point v6 version, so I'll just open the, so to get the address you'll just have to open the docs of Biconomy like that, and as soon as you get into the docs you'll go into the SDK, and here on contracts you'll see the entry point contract. Cool. You'll just copy it from here, and then after copying that you'll have to paste it here like this. Cool. And now you can simulate this transaction. So as soon as you click on simulate transaction, it will try to simulate the transaction and will tell you the reason behind the error. As you can see here, the error reason is you must send at least one ether to increment, which was the require statement failing, right? So it was in the contract and it was in the function. So as you can see here, this was the particular reason for the failure of this transaction. So you can go into your contract, make some changes and resolve the issue. Okay, apart from this, so this was around having the call data information, so you can gather information, you can debug using call data. But if you have a UserOp and you have the UserOp details, you can find more details into the error. So let me show you how you can do that. So in the Tenderly, if we go and click on, let's say, create a new simulation, or we can just click on resimulate, and as soon as it's done, we should go and get the UserOp. Okay, so you see this is the UserOp object that we got, and for this UserOp object you have to build it. So for building, you'll just have to write a simple piece of code, which is const userop equals to await smart account.build userop, and in that you'll have to put the transaction in an array and build operation struct, which basically means like what paymaster mode are you using, is it sponsor or is it ERC20 mode. Okay, so you'll have to mention that, and simple, you'll be getting the UserOp like this. So this is a whole object, so you'll just have to copy this object and go into the Tenderly. And now in this case, when you will just reload it, you'll be seeing to paste the address. Now in this you'll have to paste the address of the the entry point contract, okay, and not the smart account, because this time we are going to simulate the UserOp object. Okay, so what we will do is we'll grab the entry point contract address from here. This is the v6 version. You can also enter the v7, and we'll hit on polygon MY like that. I think it's taking time. Let's go to simulator again and create a new simulation right from the very beginning. So we'll just paste it like this and hit on polygon MY. It will fetch the details and will tell us the important functions in it. So we can see the simulate handle op as a function, which requires a UserOp, basically a target and a target call data, right? So in the UserOp, you'll have to copy the UserOp and paste it. So we'll just grab the UserOp object like this, and we will paste it here. Cool. So, and this is the target, which is the address. So it can be a null address. You can just copy it from here and paste it here. And target call data is nothing but it's by default as 0x. Okay, cool. Now you can see we have some important fields here, like the sender, nonce, init code, call data, signature, and all of them, right? But the thing is, the most important thing here is that if you alter any of these fields, so you'll be getting different kind of error. So for example, AA25 invalid account nonce is a very common error, and it is usually faced by many of the developers who try to integrate Biconomy. So it is done while trying to do a parallel userOp when a user is trying to call a parallel userOp. They kind of face this error. This is because when you try to call a userOp, or you try to send a userOp which has a nonce, 1 minus or 2 minus than the current nonce. Okay, so for example, you can see the nonce here is 0x2a. Okay, now this is in hex. Now we can just write hex to decimal. Let's see what this number is. So if we write 0x2a, we will be seeing a number like okay, so it's 42. So the number, the nonce is actually 42. So what we can do is, if we go on tenderly like this, yeah, so we can just alter this. So if we just go on to the nonce field like this, we can write 41. Okay, which is one less than the current nonce. Okay, so this should probably throw us the AA25 invalid account nonce error. So if we simulate the transaction now, so we should be getting the AA25 error. So the execution was reverted, which was true, and you can say here that the reason is AA25 invalid account nonce. Okay, so this is the common error. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to grab the current nonce, and then you have to pass that nonce into the userOp. Make sure that the userOp is using a current nonce. Okay, so this is how you can debug this particular error. And if you can if we go again and alter any of the other field, like if we just re-simulate it, and now you see the it will just take us some time to get the details. And now you see the nonce is 41, so let's put the nonce is 42 again, like the previous one. So the nonce is now correct now, but if I alter the init code, which is 0x in this case, which means it has been deployed, but I'm just altering and changing the field to 0x123, and it should probably throw us an error which is called as AA10. So you see AA10 sender already constructed error, right? So this error is thrown in this particular case when you have altered the init code, right? So yeah, there are some errors like this, and you will also get AA24 signature error. When you have a signature error, you basically have a different signature that a userOp normally has, right? So if the signature is different that it should have than the signature it should have, then you will probably see an error like AA24 signature error, right? So to debug this, you'll have to have the userOp details, and you'll have to see into the userOp whether what field is getting and being sent as wrong, right? So you'll have to check into this, but this is how basically Tenderly works, and how you can use callData and userOp details to debug the error and look into the error more closely and resolve it as quickly as you can, right? So this is how Tenderly works, and this is how you can debug most of the errors of Biconomy. And also, let me tell you one more thing. If you are normally facing any kind of error, you can go on to the docs page and just hit on troubleshooting. You'll see common errors, and here are a lot of errors which are the most common errors that normally users get. We have listed them all here, and you can look into them, look into the details, and find solutions to it, right? And our team is always there for you, your queries. So hit us on Discord, hit us on Telegram, we'll be there to help you. So yeah, this is how you can basically use Tenderly for debugging the errors, and this whole video was around it. I hope you liked this video, and I hope you'll get more information from this video. Do again. And also we have a different page called as and also we have a page in our docs for which you can just go and find some common errors that you normally get. So For that, you'll just have to go into our docs page, and in that you'll see a troubleshooting page here, and in the common errors you'll see a lot of common errors that normally users face while integrating Biconomy, and these errors, all of them are listed here. You can look into the error, why the error is being thrown, and how you can resolve it, right? So this is an important page for beginners who are trying to integrate Biconomy, and other than that, we are always available for you guys to help you solve the queries. So you can hit us up on Discord. क्या कर रहा है जो दोबारा कर यार. And one more thing, guys, if you are facing any kind of common error, we have a page on our docs which is called as common errors under troubleshooting, and if you click on that, you'll see a lot of common errors being listed here, and all of these are common errors which are normally faced by users while integrating Biconomy. So they can look into this, why the error is being thrown, and how you can resolve it. So it is a very important page for beginners who are trying to integrate Biconomy, and you can look into these errors and find the reasons behind it. And also you can contact us on Discord. We are always there to help you with queries, right? So this is the whole point of this video, and I just wanted to tell you how you can debug the errors using Tenderly, and how you can get to dive more deep into the error and how you can resolve it, right? I hope you liked this video, and I hope this video was informative to you, and thank you for your time. That was a great interacting with you again, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.